Hi, my name's Denny Claycomb, and this is for Dr. Rutledge's SEC 392 Teaching of English class. I'm going to discuss the section titled Assessments, an overview of different types. I think this section was very beneficial for me to read, especially as a review of formative assessment. I also liked how they defined the difference between cognitive assessments and effective ones. I think that effective ones would be the more enjoyable and more fun assessments to teach, but I believe that both cognitive and effective assessments are important. To me, the definition means for cognitive, it's just how the students are learning it intellectually, and then for effective, it's what they're interested in and their attitudes towards what you're teaching. I also liked how the section gave ideas about writing for formative assessments. For example, they mentioned progress monitoring, obviously. They also said to provide feedback too, which I think is an obvious one. Both of those should go hand in hand in any area that you're teaching. But I also liked how they pointed out to teach students to assess their own writing. I think that's very important for both the student and the teacher. It can be very beneficial for the student because I think their grades will improve, their confidence in writing will improve, and I also think that the teacher will enjoy, I think, seeing those improvements and seeing students go back and revise and assess their own writing. I also liked how the section gave this figure 8.1, which gives the differences between the formative and summative assessments. I've always thought of it as formative. They're forming it, the students are. So as you're teaching it, it's being formed, the formative assessments, which is like individually, versus for me, summative looks a lot like summary. So that would be towards the end. That's how I always remembered it. This section also talked about applying the best practices, and one that really stuck out to me was for the teacher to not see the student's name when they're grading the writing, and I think that's really cool, to be honest, because at the end of the day, there could be any sort of bias that happens, especially if the teacher knows the student's a good writer. I think taking out the name could be really helpful for the teacher. And I also liked how this section mentioned to allow students different modes of writing because some students may be better at paper and pencil and some may be better, on a Word document. And I think it's also important to change the modes of writing depending on the students because it will give them more confidence. And if they're more comfortable, then they'll write better, I think. So I did enjoy reading this section. I think this entire PDF is really helpful. And I liked how it also gave me a review of formative and summative assessments. And then I also liked how it mentioned that students should not be able to just understand, but to also use and develop the assessments. So I do think that as a future and as a new teacher, that this section was very helpful. Thank you.